Hi guys, Charlie Tango 1 coming at you here. A couple of days ago I made a video of one of these stoves from Russia, a copy. I was doing a repair for a customer. I've sent it off to him now, but I've since taken the video down because it was far too long. So now this video is basically like a follow-on, but I'm just going to do it briefly, explaining exactly what was up with his stove. So without further ado, we'll crack on. The first thing that I came across was the spindle. Didn't seem to be functioning very well, so a little bit sort of crunchy as you turn it. I thought, well, that's wrong for a start. So excuse me, but I think what I started with I started with the cap, and as you can see there's a little pivot there. I replaced that because it was worn. Which I put in here, and put the spring in afterwards as well. Oh, bear with me, fiddly fingers. There you go, let's put that in there as well, get it out of the way so I don't lose any bits. That's the first job I've done. And so of course that brought it up very nicely then. I thought, oh right, I've got the top of it where I wanted, which I did show on the video actually. So now the next thing what I tackled was I thought I need to look at this spindle now, but you've got to take the jet out first to get the spindle out, because this pricker here is what's stopping you from getting the spindle out, as a lot of you know. So anyway, I've excuse me, I've got a bit of mucus this morning. So I took the jet out. Well, to be quite honest, the only way I could get that jet out, believe it or not, was I had to put it in the vise. God knows how tight they got it, but I had a spanner, a proper spanner that comes with them. I broke that. One of these spanners. Broke it just here, snapped straight through there. So I thought, oh, well, I've got plenty of them. So, right, okay, out in the shed, in the vise, and I just give it a turn, like, you know, I just needed something to hold that jet on the sides, because I obviously seen someone has had it off before, because the sides here was chewed up. Oh, I'm out of shot. The sides here was, you know, this side and this side, like it overrid it and bent, slightly shaved off the corners. So I thought, well, that's going to be a pig to get out. You know, I got it out. And then I lifted out, undone the spindle so I could get the pricker out. Like that. Now the end of that pricker, where the needle was, this is a very short one as well. It was like a it went down, then it was a zigzag into the block. I thought, oh, obviously that's been bent down where it hasn't entered the jet hole properly. So I thought, right, anyway, that come out, put that to one side, and then I found that the jet was blocked up. Now I think what's happened is the pricker got wedged up in there and broke when he tried to get it out. I don't know whether it was him or previous like, but he hadn't had it going for a long time. So anyway, I've got that cleaned out and all set up, and I managed to file the sides of the jet quite a bit, you know, safely, so that you could get a proper non-return valve tool on it, which is one of these, if you didn't know. That goes in the jet, and as I say, it's just basically one of those, but it makes it so much easier. Right, having done that, I thought, right, now I didn't separate the tank from the burner, because it's got, and I don't know why they do it, but a lot of them do, they use that red thread lock. Now that red thread lock is a very, I've got some here, is a very hard, it sets very hard, but you don't need that one. I've only ever used this one, which is a blue. Although it's in a red bottle, it's blue, and it's not even half the strength, but you only want it just to lock the thread so it doesn't come undone through vibration or whatever. You know, engineers use it a lot, so I thought I'll use some of that if I can get it off, but that's all I use if I have to. But I try to avoid using it on the spindle that goes into the tank, for the simple reason that spindle and the nut is a tapered thread, so as you screw it into the tank it gradually gets tighter and tighter because it's tapered. So slurping my coffee. So that's what I do. And then if you don't think you're going to get another rotation on it, then make sure that the spindle is lined up with the tank. You turn it on its side, you can see it's in line with the tank. And that's what I do when I repair them. Now, having done that, let's put this back on here so we don't get separated, because I've got fluid in that one, because I use this one for making me perfect coffee in here. Now, I don't think there's anything else to show you to do in there. You won't see that in there. Right, so now, having got the spindle out, I came across another little problem, which was this. I'm trying to do it so you only get, bear with me, the very point of that, right at the point, was bent over, only a tiny little bit, bent over a bit, but it was preventing it from seating properly in here. It has to seat in there. Let's turn it round so you can see what I mean. It actually seats, when you screw it in, it seats up to that bit there inside, and that's what shuts off the fuel from the burner. Well, I've come across this problem many times with a lot of people. They seem to think that turning it anti-clockwise turns it off. Well, sometimes, you know, when they turn it up there to prick the jet out, it goes out. Well, that means it stopped the fuel to a point from coming out of the jet. So they think that they've turned it off. They haven't. All they've done is they've rammed this needle up in the jet. So and what happens is the stove goes out. But that's not the correct way. That is just to unblock the jet. The correct way is clockwise, so it seats in there. And to do that, you've got to adjust this. You've got to adjust this little pricker. You've got to adjust that just right in the burner. Then put your cap on, your jet. When you've got your jet on, open your spindle, see if the jet comes through the hole. You might just be able to feel a little bit. You don't want a lot, but you want a little, so you know that the jet's gone through, the pricker's gone through the jet hole. Then screw it back down and make sure that it shuts off the fluid. Now to do that, you could leave a little bit of fluid in the tank. If you leave a bit of fluid in the tank, as soon as you open that, it will start to run out. And then as soon as you shut it up, dry it up, and then open it to see if any fluid comes out again. If it does, you know that it's shutting off properly. Having done that, when you've succeeded that, then take the spindle out again, and then put your pricker in, and it's usually about 2 to 3 clicks in there, which is done by one of these. You put the pricker in the end of the pencil, like so, and then you push down on it, not heavily. Obviously you have your bell off when you do that, and you push down on it whilst you open the valve. So you've got it in the off position, turned off, then you open the valve and you'll slight bit of pressure downwards on this and you'll feel it go click, and then you turn it a bit more and it'll go click again, and I'd go about 3 clicks first, then put your jet back on, and then test it again to see if it still shuts off. It's trial and error really, because the important thing is getting this needle here to shut off in there to stop the fluid coming out. And if it does that, you know you got it about right. Of course, then when you open it up, up goes the pricker to clear the jet out if needs be. So having done all that, I eventually succeeded in getting it right. I had to put a new, I'll show it here, I'll not take it out of the packet because it's sealed, but this is for a 123, but you've got that graphite ring in there, can you see it? Just here, that's a graphite ring. I'll get them from a vet, which reminds me I've got to go get some from me spares supplier. That's for a 123, but I need some for an 8R and a 111 and a 111B. They're the same size for those 3 stoves. So once you got that in, and you make sure there's a washer goes on here, a little brass washer, and it's dished. It's in a dish shape like that, and you put your graphite on there with the dish facing the end of the spindle like that. So you've got the dish coming in there like that. Put the graphite on, and then you either have a flat washer goes against that graphite, or you don't worry if you don't have it, because the locking nut that goes on after that will push the graphite up against the dished washer, and you can tighten it accordingly, but you won't know how tight until you've got it burning. And then if you get a slight leak come out of that locking nut, just crack the nut up a bit more, that's all. It's only compact graphite, it's not you know, it won't disintegrate when you tighten it up because it's in a housing, so it can't do. And I think that's just about it now. I did do it stripping down and rebuilding, but it did go on for a while, probably to the point where it was too informative, and I felt like it probably wasn't helping people at all, because it might have got a little bit too complicated for some people. But you know, I try to keep it as basic as possible, and that's what I do. I've got a couple of stoves coming home very shortly, which is an Optimus 8R, but it's the proper Optimus. Drinking me coffee. And what I have found out, you call it a little rant if you want, I don't know, but I was going to mention it last time, I forgot about it. A lot of these people, they're getting hold of these stoves, and you'll find one with a tin has got Optimus 8R on it, stamped on the tin, stamped in the tin, you know. So you think, oh yeah, but it's not an Optimus 8R stove in there. They put one of these in. Put one of these Russian ones in or something. And thinking, well, that's not an Optimus 8R. That's a copy of an 8R. So, and you can all tell as well by the brass. The brass they use over there is what I term as a poor quality brass compared to the English brass. I mean, ours do shine, but there we go. That's what I've found. So you think you're getting something original, but you're not. They chop and change them about. I mean, if the tin is absolutely rotten, well, they'll just throw it, and they'll keep the burner. So they've got a spare burner if someone wants one or something. But touch wood, I haven't come across one yet that I've had to throw. I've got a little bit of repair work to do on the stove that's coming, and that is, I'll show you what it is. You got two spot welds here holding this plate on that holds the tank on. It's spot welded onto here, and one of these, this one here, has come unstuck. Well, that's not a problem, because I can just spot weld that with a bit of welded oxygen acetylene, or I should just braze it, put a little braze spot on there. That's all we want, just to hold it there. Other than that, then it wants cleaning up, and I will be cleaning it up. And I think I might do it in this colour. I've done one in this colour and I'm quite pleased, it looks very nice. So it's called Vauxhall Breeze Blue. So I'll be doing it in that, and we'll see how we go from there. Anyway, that's enough of me ranting on about that. So now it's all sorted out. These are very expensive, I find. I think I want about £16 for them. It's a lot of money, isn't it? Still, there you have it. So, just be warned that there's a lot of people that's chopping and changing all these stoves about. I've got my little silent burner on there to do that. It's hard to tell what you're getting. You don't know if you're getting the McCoy or not. But there you go. It's horses for courses. But you get some of these tanks that come from it's either Ukraine, Romania or Bulgaria. Well, they don't seem to put that thread lock on there, so you can get them off, because with these, as I said, there's a very dear little piece of crepe bandage in the tank on those, and it's barely enough to soak up the fuel. So I personally like to undo that excuse me, put a decent wick in there, and then put it back. But while you've got that wick out, you can clean all that tube in there where it vaporises, and if you're taking the spindle out, etc., you can clean all that out with a cotton bud or anything like that. with some fuel, or I don't know, meths, or spirit cleaner, stuff like that. Clean it right out, and as I say, if you've got it in bits, you might as well give it a good thorough overhaul and have done with it. And then it gives you a great satisfaction when you find that you fire it up and it goes like a good, and you think, cool, yeah, that's lovely. So it's self-satisfaction, a lot of it. I just enjoy stripping these down, cleaning them up and getting them going. But there's come a point in time where I'm going to have to start selling some of these, because I'm getting a bit of a collection. I've got 12 of these little 8Rs now, and but if the paint looks tatty on the tin, I automatically just respray it. You know, I might use Amorite, green or grey. I tend to stick to the grey for the 8Rs, but it's how can we say, if it looks tatty, you know, that's just me like thinking, well, it does look tatty, and I've seen some of them in a hell of a state, and I've just purchased one that is in a hell of a state, rust and everything at the bottom, it's all peeling up, but I just sandblast it off, simple as that. I sandblast it off and it should come up like new. I can spray it, no problem. So that's one of the first jobs I do, so this can be well and truly drying out. Then I hang it outside underneath my lean-to weather it, and by the time I get round to complete servicing the stove, this is all dry. So there you go. Just word of warning on that. Make sure you've got all your right bits, like. And as I've said, if you're not sure and you want it serviced, as I say, I done that. I serviced that one, and I done it in what, about 2 to 3 hours. There's not a great deal to them, but at least I do them properly. They are serviced properly, so that you know, you don't skip corners. Like if I see that this little button down here on this little pipet, if I see that that's sunk below that surface, I think, right, that's worn, replace that. That's the first thing I check, because that's there all the time. It's going hot, cold, hot, cold. It does get hot when the tank's hot, so that's going to take its toll somewhere down the line. So just replace that and they're done with. And the graphite, well, you can get graphite string for it actually if you want, but I use the graphite rings, of which I'm going to, when I get indoors, I'm going to order some, but he don't start till 8 o'clock or 10 o'clock, so I should be doing that. Right, I'm going to go indoors and upload this one in the hope that it's shed some light on the subject or whatever. Sorry if it's been boring, but you know, that's me, isn't it? I'll catch you all later. Take care now. Bye for now.